So in this presentation, we're going to talk about the utilization of PET-CT and specifically FDG PET-CT for melanoma. As we've seen in some of the earlier presentations, there's a trend towards more tumor-specific imaging, and you'll see more of that tomorrow with dotatate for neuroendocrine tumors and PSMA imaging for prostate carcinoma. We really don't have anything that's really on the horizon yet for melanoma, so FDG still is our mainstay for imaging. A little bit of the cancer facts and figures just to put this in perspective when we talk about patients with melanoma, and I think it highlights one of the observations that was made in an earlier presentation today. So this is the facts and figures from 2022 from the American Cancer Society, and you can see that the melanoma of the skin is listed in the top 10 malignancies for both men and women. About number 4 or 5 on the list for both of those, number 5. But you see it missing from the bottom. So we don't see melanoma as a leading cause of death. We're diagnosing melanoma, but not seeing a lot of deaths from melanoma. And that's probably reflective of a couple of factors. One is that many of the melanomas that are diagnosed early. They're diagnosed by skin examination, they're diagnosed by punch biopsy, and that really is the limitation of it. It also may be a factor of the better therapies that we have, and as Dr. Kuo mentioned earlier, immunotherapy has really been a game changer with regards to melanoma, and so we're probably seeing some effect of that as well. This is an age-adjusted percentage change in the incidence. I thought this was very interesting. These are all the cancer types, the most common cancer types, and whether they're increasing in incidence or decreasing in incidence. And although we saw a period of time where melanoma was actually becoming less common, it's turning around a little bit, and we're seeing more incidence of melanoma occurring over the last 10 years or so. Melanoma of the skin, both in men and in women. It's number 1 in terms of that increase in incidence in men, and number 2 in women. But again, the good news is that the people dying from melanoma, it's at the bottom of the list. It's actually showing a very positive response to therapy and a very positive response to the newer generation of therapeutics that we have for melanoma. So melanoma can be a very deadly disease in some circumstances, but it is one that we've made some significant progress in for diagnosis and particularly in therapy. I'll just pause for a moment, and I always find it interesting when you see these sorts of graphs. They always talk about melanoma of the skin. And my first thought is always, well, what other melanoma could we be talking about? We always think of melanoma on the scalp and on the shoulders, sun-exposed areas. But there are actually 3 distinct varieties of melanoma that can be encountered. Cutaneous melanoma is by far the most common, but we also have mucosal melanoma occurring in mucosal surfaces that are not related to sun exposure. And I'll show an example of that, as well as ocular melanoma. So we have a lot of melanocytes in the retina of the eye, and that's a subset of melanoma that can occur with some frequency. There may be some element of sun exposure in that case, but many of these have a genetic predisposition. So here's a case example. This is a 61-year-old woman with newly diagnosed melanoma. And we can see on her images here that the mass is actually over here in the lower pelvis. And this was a primary vaginal melanoma that she was being staged for. We'll come back to that case a little bit later in this